Okay, go ahead.
Namo fundamental teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. Namo fundamental teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. Namo fundamental teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. The unsurpassed, deep, profound, subtle, wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million eons is difficult to encounter. Now that I have come to receive and hold it within my sight and hearing, I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual meaning.
Okay, thank you. So let's see. Okay, we start from here. You can read the title, the big one.
The attainment of the most sublime happiness. All the Buddhas who have contemplated for many eons have seen it to be beneficial, for by it the limitless masses of beings will quickly attain the supreme state of bliss. In general, there are many ways in which we can benefit sentient beings, but the Buddhas who have spent eons examining the best way to help others say that the developing bodhicitta is the supreme method. Why is this? Because with the development of bodhicitta, we are not only able to attain the supreme happiness of Buddhahood for ourselves, but we are also able to lead countless masses of sentient beings to the incomparable bliss of this supreme state. Recognizing the matchless benefits of bodhicitta has for ourselves and others, we should strive to attain it.
Okay, what do you understand?
That cultivating bodhicitta is the best method for helping living beings, for saving them from their suffering. And the reason being that it doesn't only liberate them, but it liberates us at the same time. It certainly gives us a correct intention for our practice, because we're not just practicing for ourselves, but if we think about the bigger picture and before practicing, and we contemplate the reason for, like, prior to meditating, if we contemplate how the practice of meditation will help me to be more able to master my own mind, to not be reactive, to be mindful and present, so that I can make choices that benefit other people. So when I'm going to sit to meditate, having that context, I think, creates another layer of motivation, that it's not just a personal thing, but it's connecting me with other beings, and it can be a practice that ripples out into their benefit. Or avoiding, not just doing something good, but avoiding something bad too. Because if I think, hey, if I get drunk tonight, tomorrow I'm not going to be very useful. I'm not going to be very available for like contributing, for helping people. So it can also be a bodhicitta can be a protection against bad actions, because we'll kind of protect our mind so that it's available to help others.
Good. We last couple of weeks we have the recitation for the Dormant Flower Sutra. That is the first one for 8 days on that one, and the second one is we do another 4 days. Nirvana, the sutra of the nirvana. That means the Buddha entered into the great nirvana. So total is 12 days consecutively, from 8 in the morning till 9, sometimes 9:30 in the evening. And we recite the sutra. There are 5 sections. We divide into 5 periods of recitation, and 1 period for the summary of the Dhamma talk, for the summary of what we have read. And it's very interesting, especially for the Adornment Flower Sutra. This is after the Buddha enlightened under the Bodhi tree. The first 21 day, he teaching. He spoke this sutra to the great Bodhisattva. And the sutra Nirvana, the great Nirvana, is the last one that he spoke on the last day he on earth. So these two become very wow. We have learned so much from this sutra. Even though I read some of the dormant flower already, but the Nirvana, great Nirvana, it's beautiful. It's so beautiful spoken by the Buddha. And inside the Adornment Flower Sutra, the Buddha always they're talking about most of the time they show the Buddha and the Bodhisattva state, the state of the mind, right? That means that is where they accomplish and how instead of showing the Buddha accomplished directly from his spiritual power, it all the sentient being who like God, like spirits, like Bodhisattva, they are the one who demonstrate the accomplishment of their own achievement. That means that's how they demonstrate the Buddha, the power of the Buddha. You understand that? That means, yeah.
No, I don't understand. No.
Yeah, okay. Let me put it this way. So when the Buddha when the Bodhisattva became Buddha, right? That means they achieved the ultimate one. It's they call the Dhamma body, right? That means you embody of all the law of the universe, right? Mm-hmm. That's why the Buddha said that all the living beings have the Buddha nature, is equivalent quality with the Dhamma body. Does it make sense? Right? Yeah. But instead of showing how powerful the Buddha achievement is, we see that each one of the God or spirit or Bodhisattva or many different assembly individually, they demonstrate their achievement because they are the one who learn from the Buddha, right? They are the one who be able to have that kind of power throughout their achievement. So that means the Buddha is not speaking, but they are the one who speak on behalf of the Buddha.
Okay.
Does it make sense?
Yes.
So, and what does it mean? It means that throughout the Bodhisattva way, right, of practicing, there are 53 steps of this is 53 level of to achieve in order to become a Buddha. So that's what we call the Bodhisattva way. And they the first one is the 10 faith, right? The 10 faith. The second one is called the 10 staying. But I give you the name, but later on when you read it, you will understand it. The third one is the 10 conduct. That means the 10 conduct of practice. The fourth one is the 10 transference marriage. The fifth one is the 10 round. And the next one is the wonderful state of the Buddha. I don't know the English, what do they call? But anyway, so when the spirit or different assembly or different individual, they demonstrate themselves. This is the way that when we read this thing, we understand that. So this is just like the law of cause and effect. When you practice certain thing, you will achieve certain state. Self-practice, self-reward, right? Self-achievement. So, and later on, you also see in the Dormant Flower Sutra, there are many things like all the word system in the 10 directions. You can see that inside the Buddha single hair, right? On his single hair, that means his body. The single hairy on the body, and that means inside the single hairy you can see all the word system in the pendulum. That means small and big, there is no obstacle. Wide and narrow, it have no obstacle. Time and space, there is no meaning to the one who enlightened. That makes sense. And also, when the Bodhisattva reach certain state of for example, the 10 round, the first round is they be able to see the 100 Buddha, and they can be able to transform to have a 10 or 100 transformation body. Each one it will in each Buddha land appear at the same time. If we understand by the text, we say, "Wow, what does that mean?" But how do we using the worldly to understand that in our daily application, right? This is more important than just read from just like the fairy tale. And it makes sense, and that's helpful. So, and then there are many. Later on, I will teach you the. We learn about the dependent on nation, right? We call it dependent conditional or dependent arising. That means everything is interdependent. Nothing is happened by itself, right? That is for the Theravada teaching on the dependent on nation. But when we come to the dependent on nation or dependent arising or conditional, in the dormant flower, we're talking about the 4 dormant realms. They are everything is happened without article. Okay, material and also the nature. It happened without any article. And there are a lot of there are around 10 different contemplations on this thing, and it's very profound, very meaningful, and beyond this the current science be able to understand it. How do we demonstrate the transformation, right? The Buddha have all the Bodhisattva, they be able to achieve the certain portion of the Dhamma body, right? So they be able to manifest the transformation body, appear in different Buddha land at the same time. What does it mean? It's the same thing. When you look at the moon, right? If you see the moon, it's only one. But if there is 100 river, right? How many moon do you be able to see it under the river, in the water? 100 of them. Yeah, but did the moon come from outside, go into the water? No. It's just a reflection, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the Buddha nature, the Dhamma body is the same thing. The Dhamma and the Dhamma body and also transformation body, it works in that way. That means the Buddha, they call the touch come one, right? There no come and go. There no need for come and go. And you look at the new reporter, right? He stay at the news station, and the camera put on that new reporter, and he speak or she speak whatever the news is. And you know what? Within that CD, if they broadcast to 100 or even 1,000 family, and each one of them they have a TV, they turn on the same channel, you'll be able to see the same thing for 100, even 1,000 of the same person. And that means that person duplicated, duplicate all those body, you know.
No.
It's just like the moon with the moon on in the water, right?
Right.
The same concept. And how is that happen? And the most important inside this teaching here is the Dorman Flower Sutra. They are teaching us to practice the Bodhisattva way, and based on the Bodhicitta, and how the Bodhisattva be able to practice the Bodhisattva way, not the Sao here or the Pacceka Buddha. Why? What the difference between the Bodhisattva and the other two?
The Bodhisattva is driven by compassion to liberate all living beings from suffering, whereas the Soundtears and Pacceka Buddhas are concerned with their own suffering.
They see things the same thing. For example, the Sao here or the Pacceka Buddha, they see the world or all the living beings, right, are the illusion. Because everything comes at an existence due to the cause and condition come together. When the condition gone, those things gone, right? So birth or the death, it means that cause and condition come together, or condition is gone, and that's what we call death. But it's not really death; it's not really birth. Does it make sense?
Yes. Yes.
And therefore, when they see that, that means even the world, even the living being is illusion. They are not real. Therefore, they have no wish, no motivation to practice Bodhisattva. That's the whole purpose. And when the Bodhisattva and the Buddha be able to do so, they also see things like that too. They see everything is in this world is just illusion. Because the mind of the duality. Does it make sense? The duality mind come from what? The fourth thought. When you're talking about the fourth thought, that means things become illusion. They are not real. But because we attach, it's real. Yet the Buddha and Bodhisattva be able, they also see things like that, but they never abandon the Bodhisattva vow and the Bodhisattva path. And they never abandon the living being. Why was that? Because they know that the living being, they don't see the way the Buddha and the Bodhisattva see. They see, even though it think it's illusion, it's not real, but the living being always see things real. Therefore, this makes the Bodhisattva arrive with the compassion. Does it make sense? This is important, very important. This one right here. It makes a big difference between the South here and Pacceka with the Bodhisattva path. And you know what? In order to be perfect, to have a perfect Dhamma body, they need to be perfect in the Bodhisattva path. To fulfill the Bodhisattva path. And how do they do that? How do they do that? They rely on what? Rely on the living being to practice. This is important. When I read that, I said, wow, this is wonderful. The teaching is so wonderful. If we do not understand the Bodhicitta at the beginning, and when you read this thing, you just read it like you read you just see the text, the meaning of the text, but you don't understand the metaphor. And that is the beautiful of the Buddha teaching is the metaphor, not the text, not the face value. Right? So this is important. So and in the one we just read right now, right? Bodhicitta is the most important. Without Bodhicitta, we cannot be able to fulfill to be able to practice Bodhisattva path. We cannot be able to generate the Bodhisattva vow, to practice the Bodhisattva path, and to fulfill the vow and to accomplish the Buddhahood. All these things come from the Bodhicitta. Very powerful. And inside the Nirvana, right? I just want to give you a quick meaning of this thing. So later on, when you read it, you will see it beautiful, very beautiful. I wish that we will have a chance to do it, and I don't know how do I. Let me think about that. I will lay out the bilingual language Vietnamese and English together. So when we read maybe for we can start the class maybe 15 minutes early, right? We can read those things for 20 minutes at least at the beginning. So every week we accumulate that much. You'll be able to see. Otherwise, you would never have a chance to read it. I would like you, especially you have a very good root of Buddhist in the past. The reason the Bodhicitta is so important is yesterday I went to visit one of the venerable master in Austin, in Texas. He the one who one of the 10 master to witness and certify for my become a monk, right? So I come and visit him, and he's very good in he master in mantra, at the mantra school of mantra. That's really good. And he said a lot of good things. We learned a lot of good things from that. Nowadays, a lot of people like the one you met, the Indian guru, right, in the past. Mm-hmm. In Vietnamese, we also have a few of them similar. They are both non-Buddhist monk and Buddhist monk. And you know what? They use this kind of spiritual power, but those spiritual power, they are not really their own. They use the external spiritual power. It's just like the black magic. You understand? It's scary. And they use it, and they be able to tell your future very accurately. And they be able to predict a lot very accurately. And you know what? When we have the mind of craving for those things, and curious, if we have the affinity with them, oh my goodness! When you come to them, they give you something that it's like give you black magic to control you.
Hmm.
And when they control you, you have no way to get out of it. It's scary. I heard that there is one that is one of the monk. He used this power to demonstrate um, in uh, in the assembly and to make the other monk to strip to become naked to demonstrate how power is. That's crazy.
Wow,
That's
that's
scary.
weird.
That's very scary. And the reason they do this because they are the gold digger. They are the gold digger, just like you said, right? They want to have a lot of people so they can get the money from them. That's very scary. And because nowadays, this is the world of evil. Evil. This thing happen a lot. If we don't have the right view, and if we do not have the Bodhicitta to protect us, when we walk into the wrong path, and you know what? If we do have affinity with them, you already know this thing. We will stuck with them for long. That's scary. Uh, so they control your own soul. You cannot be able to get out of it, and it's very tough. Um, so and especially when we be born in this kind of world, evil world, and easy for us to fall into the wrong. Therefore, Bodhicitta is very meaningful. Because when we resolve the Bodhicitta, we only focus on the sentient being. We don't focus on the self-centric. That's the difference. But if we run after them, right, we focus on ourselves, our interest, our craving. And remember, the Buddha in the past, he did not allow his disciple to demonstrate any spiritual power. So if we see anyone who try to display any power, run away from them. They are not the true practice. The one who truly achieve, they never appetite. If the one not truly achieve, they always appetite, and you know that is something wrong. So be careful. It's very scary. Nowadays, it happens a lot. What can we do?
Yeah, there are quite a few documentaries about teachers like that. Different, I can't think of any ones about Buddhist teachers, but there are a lot about, about other ones, mostly kind of like yoga or like kind of the Hindu sort of genre of stuff, like chakra energy system. And there's just
Change. That that's very scary. And especially we want when we practice and we rush ourselves to make sure we achieve something. That is the wrong view. That is not the wisdom one. So due to that, you will be attracted by those people.
Yeah, definitely clear to me that, if the mind's not pure, then spiritual powers are just another opportunity for creating bad karma, because they'll just be a tool to further desire. And I think, if we're never in a position to be able to act on some sort of desire, it's like Like say, you know, having, you know, I don't have enough money to buy a Ferrari. So I don't know when I have enough money, would I buy the Ferrari or would I use the money to help people? And so I think once we are in that position, say having spiritual powers for this analogy, you know, if the mind's not pure, we're not going to use it to help people. We're going to use it to further the desires of our mind.
Right.
And so, yeah, seeking after spiritual powers seems like a really bad idea for someone who wants to attain enlightenment, because it can just be a big distraction and cause a whole nother thing to have to wrestle with. Or to purify the mind first, and then if spiritual powers come to serve that, they do. But if not, it doesn't, you know, you don't need them.
So that's why the Grandmaster of Sankhya, that means our teacher, my teacher, he said that to his disciple, don't give any spiritual power to kill the disease. You know why? If you do that, you will carry on their own karma.
This is something that Indian guru would talk about. She would say that she would be like taking on the karma of the people that she was working with. And that, you know, she would, after doing this work, she'd be teaching in the hall, and after doing this work, that she would feel very heavily burdened by that. And she would have to like do more practices to try and clear that. She wasn't doing it for free, she was charging people. But that's interesting. I didn't know that Master Swanhua had said that, because it would seem that if someone was a bodhisattva, they may say, hey, yeah, I'll take it on. I'll take on their karma. If that
Think about it. Think about it. If you don't have the pure mind, you don't have enough morality, like moral conduct. If you're working on that, your craving will control you. That will be a problem, right? So that's why. But our grandmaster, he actually do that. Actually, killed all the people who have affinity with him. He do all the synchronous. Remember, if think about the debt and the debt collector, right? If you have a debt and the collector will come to us and collect that, and now if someone interfere, I will take care of the debt for them. And you know what? The collector will come and focus on the new debt, right? And they say that, okay, if you think that you can be able to handle it, well, I will come to you. When we cause other people suffer, that means we pray them, and they are our debt collector. Do you think that we will go for free? No. They will make sure they revenge. If other people interfere, right? They will come to them. They will make sure they pay for it. Nothing for free. But if we develop the Bodhicitta, we work on as a servant, right? We serve living beings equally. That means it doesn't matter you are deaf or deaf collector. We do it all. From the compassion and from the love and kindness. That is a different story. Does it make sense? But the people who do not have the Bodhicitta and they try to use the spiritual power to do this, they in big trouble. Because the craving will control them. And when the craving control them, they will ask for the benefit, right, of themselves. That is a big problem, brother. So if we don't have the right mindset, then it will be very troublesome. Okay. Anyway, let me go back here. I think we focus on that too much. All right, let's do number 8.
Wish fulfillment. Those who wish to destroy the many sorrows of their conditioned existence, those who wish all beings to experience a multitude of joys, and those who wish to experience much happiness, should never forsake the awakening mind. A further benefit of developing bodhicitta is that all of our wishes will be fulfilled. If we want to be released from the many miseries of samsara and dispel the unhappiness of others, bodhicitta can fulfill these aims. In addition, it fulfills the desire of all beings, including ourselves, who long to experience limitless and immeasurable joy. Therefore, since this mind of enlightenment grants all wishes, Shantideva advises us to reflect upon its many benefits and never cease striving to attain it.
Yeah. So what do you understand?
That so the awakening mind is synonymous with bodhicitta, and that bodhicitta removes all sorrow, all suffering, and causes the one who practices it, as well as the living beings that they benefit through that practice, to attain limitless joy and happiness. So
how that dispel the unhappiness? Is there unhappiness order? No. How that release and dispel you our own unhappiness? How is that? How that work?
Well, if we really realize the mind of bodhicitta, then our happiness comes in helping other living beings. And all living beings want to be happy. So if there's kind of an unending source of our own personal happiness, then, because if we're getting happiness and joy from other living beings being freed from their suffering, well, then we can just continue doing that. And on top of that, it would generate karmic blessings and create a positive feedback cycle where we'd have more blessings to help more people. And it seems like over many lifetimes, the ability to help people would just grow. And, additionally, that awakened mind recognizes that material desire, like attainment of any sort of material things, or kind of small attachment-based love, that's not, it sees it clearly, and that's not a source of happiness. So it's also like freedom from those things which aren't really important and which cause suffering. And then when living beings witness someone being compassionate, just that in of itself is like a medicine. To see someone who really truly cares and who is selfless, it's like a balm to our heart, to our mind, to really feel like someone selflessly cares. And then it's an example. So if someone does that for another, that person tends to have a little bit of that in them then, where they can be inspired, and then they will be more likely to practice kindness or generosity or even, compassion, and develop bodhicitta towards others. So it could just keep, like that torch that lights other torches, it could just keep spreading in that sense.
Yep, that's a good one. That's a good metaphor. Yeah, like in lighting the one torch to the other. But how is that help us to release from many misery of samsara, right? That means the birth and the death and rebirth cycle.
Well, I think of reorientation of what's important. So Bodhicitta orients us towards the well-being of all living beings, ourself included. And instead of being oriented just towards our own desire. So we can, see clearly the Four Noble Truths really lay out well that this root of suffering is in desire, and the root of that desire is the idea of self. Bodhicitta turns the attention away from purely just from self, but looks for the benefit of all living beings. So it's like a unifier. It's like something that's connecting self and other, and seeing that the happiness of others is intertwined with our own happiness. So I think we could say that it's transcendent. It helps us to transcend duality and to detach ourselves from, to kind of unhook ourselves from the constraints of this idea of the individual self, and these the idea that following our desires will somehow make us happy in the long run.
In the eight consonants, so this one is you just talk about the turn the self to the truth, the being, right? And also will also decrease the craving, desire for ourselves. This is we transform the mana consciousness, and when we transform the mana consciousness at the same time, that means we transform the seed of eight consciousness, the Alaya, right?
Right.
So so if we have this kind of mindset, let's say that in the future, so we have the vow, right? When we do this, automatically you know how to make a vow. So when we have this kind of mindset, you let's say that we be born into this kind of world again, and you know what? How that protect us from fall into the this kind of evil roof?
Well, if we develop a momentum of bodhicitta, where we practice it, we cultivate it, then in future lives, those seeds will be there, and it'll be more natural to continue that practice of bodhicitta. And if we are not selfishly seeking for ourselves, then it seems that we tend to avoid problems that way. We tend to avoid traps and snares, because those lay all the problems kind of are associated with selfish craving, where we put if selfish craving puts us into situations that actually risks some of the core things of our happiness. A husband who cheats on his wife, where if we have a momentum of compassion, then when that thought of desire arises, well, we can be equally aware of the illusion of the promise of that desire. It's an empty promise, where in this scenario of a husband and wife, it's just going to cause pain. Even if the wife doesn't find out, the husband's going to feel guilty. So, and he's going to have to carry that. So if we're instead have a mind of compassion, then we'd never take that action. We just see the thought as an illusion, see that it would lead to suffering, and redirect to something that's more normal.
So when, let's say that we walk into one of these evil route, right? Because our mindset is not equal to them, right? They are not compatible. So automatically we can feel the energy they have, right? And we will make our head very. We got some kind of headache, and we cannot stand it because they're selfish, right? Automatically you withdraw. Does it make sense? That's how we protect ourselves. And at the same time, when we have this kind of mindset, the bodhicitta, that means the Buddha and the Bodhisattva are always with us. to protect us. Because we don't have the wisdom eye, we cannot see it. But you know what? The invisible power is there to protect us due to our Bodhicitta, because the love and kindness and compassion we have to our being, that important. So I believe that this we will not be trapped into this evil, even though we do easily. We can even be able to get out very quickly due to our Bodhicitta, due to our vow that we want to benefit others. We don't want to be self seeking for any kind of benefit, right? So that's important. And therefore, we never give up on the Bodhicitta. Okay, let's see. Let's try number 9. Go ahead.
Bodhicitta carries with it a special name and meaning. The moment an awakening mind arises, in those fettered and weak in the jail of cyclic existence, they will be named a son of the Sugatas and will be revered by both men and gods of the world. Shantideva says that anyone who develops bodhicitta is thereafter referred to as a son of the Buddhas, literally a son of the Sugata, a bodhisattva. Such a person becomes an object worthy to be venerated and respected by worldly gods, such as Brahma and Indra and all of humanity, including high-born kings and queens. It does not matter if the person developing bodhicitta is a poor, shabbily dressed beggar. Upon his generating the mind of enlightenment, he too would become an object worthy of the highest veneration. It is important to remember that we do not need to be a monk or of aristocratic birth, or to possess a male body in order to develop bodhicitta. Although Shantideva uses the title son of the Buddhas, he is not using it restrictively. When a woman develops the mind of enlightenment, she becomes known as a daughter or princess of the Buddhas, and likewise becomes an object to be venerated by all gods and humans.
Okay, good stuff right there. So what do we understand from here?
Well, that the attainment of bodhicitta makes one worthy to be venerated, even by by gods, by kings, because this bodhicitta is so precious. The consequences that flow from someone attaining bodhicitta is like the liberation of living beings, and that's that's the highest good, the highest goal. So what else would there be to, if you weren't going to revere that, what else would there be to revere? Someone who is putting aside their own small desire and seeing that the true best thing to put effort towards is the benefit of the whole, the benefit of all living beings, and actually establishing that fully, like clearing away the obscurations from that and embodying bodhicitta. What else? There's really nothing more worthy of reverence in the world. That's the great way.
Yes, we see that doesn't matter the status of the person is, right? Can be a beggar, can be a poor, can be whatever. They will be venerated by both God and human, or even by the high-born, right? Like the king, the queen, whatever. Because the bodhicitta is very treasured. It's very rare for a person to be able to generate this bodhicitta. It's not easy. To give up the self-interest and switch that and change that toward to the benefit to others. It's not easy, right? So that's why whoever be able to do that, doesn't matter what kind of class they born in, right? They will be venerated by others, and that's important. So today we are okay. Let's see how far. Okay, let's stop right here, and I want you to do the mantra, I guess. Okay, go ahead.
May every living being, our minds as one and radiant with light, share the fruits of peace with hearts of goodness, luminous and bright. If people hear and see how hands and hearts can find in giving unity, may their minds awake to great compassion, wisdom, and to joy. May kindness find reward. May all who sorrow leave their grief and pain. May this boundless light break the darkness of their endless night. Because our hearts are one, this world of pain turns into paradise. May all become compassionate and wise. May all become compassionate and wise.
Okay. Let me